Hi folks, this is Dennis Allen with the Disciple Dilemma, and this is another episode of Yes, He Can Be Trained, the lessons learned I'm picking up as I wade in with the issues of the Disciple Dilemma and speak to people, read what people have to say, and think about what they've told us. This is the week of February 12th, which includes February 14th, so I hope all you guys remembered it's Valentine's Day. One lesson learned for me this week is how many views exist in the world about Valentine's Day. My bride, Karen, sees it just like another corporate holiday, so she's not all that much into it. For others, it's sacrosanct, and if you don't honor Valentine's Day, well, you've shirked your responsibilities as a man and you're in a lot of trouble. My big lesson this week, though, is another subject, and it's the diversity of opinions surrounding discipleship. I thought that would be a pretty clear-cut issue, but it's not. And this is not just a self-serving commentary about the work we're doing at the Disciple Dilemma. It is amazing to me to see how varied the opinions are about discipleship. A lot of those opinions are light years apart from the source document, which would be the Old and the New Testament. A lot of these opinions and books and websites and blogs have no real connection back to the model of discipleship that Jesus gave us. So you can imagine the stuff that we can read and hear can become pretty varied, pretty diverse, pretty distant from Scripture. I've been amazed this week at the literature available online and on the bookshelves that confuse an evangelist with a disciple. Many of these articles are telling us that to be a disciple means you have to be an evangelist. Others are claiming specialized traits that really should belong to evangelists are actually just the traits that we read about in Scripture, telling us that they're traits that belong to each and every disciple. Ephesians 4, for example, claims that there are specialized roles in serving Christ: pastors, prophets, teachers, and yes, evangelists. But we are all disciples. On the flip side, Galatians 5 gives us a lot of traits about Christians that many people say are the traits of an evangelist, but they are the traits of all disciples. Not all disciples are evangelists. So I've been surprised this week to actually have people tell me I'm completely wrong in saying not every disciple is an evangelist. I think that's true. Not every disciple is an evangelist. I think there's a substantial scriptural basis for that idea, and this idea being not every disciple is an evangelist. What's the difference? Well, all disciples need to be ready with an answer to anyone who asks for the reason for the hope that's within them. That's 1 Peter 3:15. But not every disciple is expected to preach from the pulpits and from the streets, whether invited or unsolicited. That's an evangelist role, declaring the gospel to people they may or may not have any personal relationship with, especially in groups. Yes, evangelists are to be disciples, but not all disciples are those kind of people. Those are evangelists. The disciple, we have to be ready too, but in a different way. Disciples live in a way to attract questions, to be ready with an answer for anyone who asks us for the reason, for the hope that's within us. The reason being Christ, and the hope being the certainty that Christ has changed everything in his resurrection and is reconciling each of us to God through that death, through that resurrection. That's a disciple, as 1 Peter 3:15 defines a disciple. Thanks for listening today. Please help us get the word out about the Disciple Dilemma, won't you? Our website, www.discipledilemma.com. You can find us on all the usual social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and the podcast circuit: Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart, Apple, Amazon, all the collaterals that go with each one of those podcasts. So please give us a listen or a look, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. It helps us get leverage in the tech sector so we can get the word out about the Disciple Dilemma. Thanks for listening.
Thou great Jehovah, pilgrim through